desktop audio not coming through? Let's have a look. I think I know why. There we go. So let me just double check. Every so often, OBS decides to reset my audio settings, and I don't really know why. Anyways, here we go. It's just on this computer, it's not on the other one. Anyways, here we go. We're at the finale of the GTR-2 Redux series, which has brought me a little bit back in love with Race Room. ACC still better for my purposes because I don't mind the lack of car selection, but obviously if that is a problem for you, then Assetto Corsa Competizione does have a little bit of dead end. About 2 minutes here to go, 3 minutes here to go in qualifying. Where are we at? Currently 15th place, could drop. John Barker, Mauricio Delgado, Michael Krall, kind of in my ballpark right now. If I went out there again, I could maybe better my lap time. But
the leader has just done a 125.22.
I'm fairly happy. I'm behind Sean Zulu and Glenn Cavis. They're both very good drivers. I don't think I'm going to do as well here as I traditionally do Mid-Ohio. This is the chicane layout. I don't care for the chicane layout.
Just 2 minutes left. 2 minutes
Let's have
to go.
a look at what I want to do here for fuel. Let's see here. So we're doing 25.2s. I think I did a 26.2, and I think I could probably be in the 26s when it comes to the actual race, like high 26s, obviously. So we're looking at about 14 laps. I'm using about 2 liters per lap. I think it was like 2.03. We'll use 2.1 as my number here, which is going to come out to 31.5 liters of fuel. So we'll throw an extra lap in there and call it 34. We'll call it. Yeah, there we go. Probably a bit much, but I want to play it safe. We're looking at 32 to go the distance. This will give me an extra lap if I need it. So let's do that. The only other thing I'm really looking at here is the tires. I'm a little bit worried about some of the tire pressure deviations I'm getting, but they've been improved via some adjustments I've done for other things. Like this is pretty good. You kind of want the middle temperature to be exactly halfway between the inside and outside if you can. And this is fairly close. We're looking at a 3-degree difference there, and then the outside is 3.6 cooler, so slightly off. Probably, if you wanted perfect, you'd probably want to shift the negative camber a little bit off to allow that to work out. Back one is okay, and generally speaking, this temperature gauge here with the light green is pretty acceptable. So that's fine. That's okay. This rear one is the one that's a little concerning.
Checker flags out.
Feels
P15.
like maybe there needs to be a little bit of a camber adjustment. Oh, I should have looked at who was on pole. That's a little bit rude, although based on the Discord discussion, I think Sean Kenny got it. So that's nice. Let's drop, because I kind of everywhere have a slight inside heat issue. So let's drop let's do 2 clicks of negative camber off on the front and back. We'll try that. And then, yeah, 34 liters. So I'll just save current setup here. They're talking about engine map, which is interesting. Is there an engine map on these things? I don't recall. Oh, there it is. Oh man, I didn't look at the drive line this whole time. So we'll do that one, but
20 minutes.
Oh shit! I got to the grid too late. Although, to be honest,
all right, Michael, nice and neat. Stay out of trouble.
Might actually not be the worst thing in the world to start from the pit lane here. This is
Go, go, go.
a nasty track. Delayed start from the pit lane. Everyone's going to go through. Alright, let's go. This start is a little bit nasty.
Yellow flag. Your exit is clear. Watch the white line.
Oh, it gave me a drive-through.
Drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
I didn't... I had the limiter on. It must have clicked up. Okay, well... Looks like John Spriggs got taken out, because he was definitely towards the front. Well, this is going to be a cacophony of errors.
Jerome is now in the lead.
There we go. Serve the drive-through. So this is a bit embarrassing. I didn't realize we even had variable map on these cars. Race Room traditionally hasn't had that. I'm just honestly going to hit the pits as soon as possible. I'm going to get caught up by the slow traffic here. And the guy ahead of me is John Spriggs, who I am, to be blunt, not racing. John is one of the fastest guys in the field. Formerly known as Moly Moly. Oh, double shifted down there. That's wrong. I need to be careful in this pit lane, though. As I remember, it has some significant issues with mapping. There. Okay. We're going to watch it. Hold it well below 80. A little paranoid now. 79, 78, 80 there. Oh, that's a little slow.
It exits clear.
Okay. Got it done. Now I got cold-ass tires. Let's see what we can do. This first section is going to be really difficult on cold tires, so this is not the line I recommend using here. Zach Wolf up ahead of me. Then it's Spriggs and Steve Davidson. The hope here, I guess, is maybe to get back up to where Cabus is, but we'll see. Going to need some yellow flag help. Just because that's the reverse grid position. Careful through there. I think that corner is called China Beach. I've raced at Mid-Ohio before, in real life, actually. But I remember that being referred to as China Beach, but it might just be that is the name for the sand trap there. I also love Thunder Valley, Madness. This is a track with a lot of great names to it, in my opinion. There's, Carousel coming up as well. The Carousel. Whoa, which is a nasty turn. Alright, so what did we make up? Less than a second on Zachary, actually. So he had a decent lap.
Sector 1 is clear.
There's some comments in the chat right now about the braking range differential in these cars, which is, for a class, quite large, actually. It's admittedly been a slight problem with this series. So catching Zach Wolf, but if I can make up a second a lap on him, it's good. So it'll be a while before we have them in sight.
Okay, Michael, you're reeling. Wolf in. The gap is 14 seconds.
Size out there running
pretty slow
24.9. I have not raced a lot against Zach Wolf, so looking forward to at least getting to see them. Oh boy, yeah, you can see what I mean about the interior of the tire there, especially that left front is lighting it up. No way to per se prevent that, but like I said, taking a little bit of negative camber off probably helps a little. What's our lap times here?
That was a 127.44. 15 minutes remaining. 15 minutes to go.
I hope I can do about a half second faster than that, at least at some point during this race. And of course, race 2 is a worry because of the tires. Actually, legitimately pissed off I didn't know about the engine map. Closing down Davidson and Wolf. Scott Nick there, Sean Zulu. Problem is that without problems, I don't even know if I can catch up to like Zulu. Like, he was, you know, around my pace in qualifying. Yeah, 26. Oh, God. That was a terrible line through there. Also, always very nervous when you get a dirty tire in this game because it punishes it heavily. Still want to salvage what I can, though, out of this result. Although the chances of getting a top 10 result have kind of gone down the tubes. I'm in like... I want to say I think I've been 12th place in the overall standings. Would like also be turning out some slightly better laps here.
You're reeling. Wolf in. The gap's now 9.2 seconds. They're slower than us into turn 1.
I know, had some of the same comments about in our Audi chat from Ms. R.C. Guerin, who is working on the
incident in Sector 3. Sector 3 is yellow.
At Zandvoort in ACC. Not a
Sector
race I'll
3
be
is
doing.
clear.
Cannot race two. Cannot do 2 race days in a row until I get my changes to my rig. Just body won't take it. My knees end up, you know, locked up, and last thing you want to do is like get locked up and run into somebody. Like, you know, that's a terrible look for an admin. And just be like, "Hell, physically can do it," because, you know, wouldn't accept that excuse from anyone else. All right. Catching up to Scott Nick reasonably well. There we are, 26.8. I've been told you don't have to shift down there, but I find that your car bogs down a fair bit in 4th gear going through there. So we can see Wolf up ahead. He's the yellow BMW M3. I have faith we'll get him, or I'll get him. I don't know about anyone else, though, to be honest. I mean, yeah, sure, we've got a half race to go still. But the gap to, like, Scott Nick, Steve Davidson, it's not closing that fast. And the gap to Sean Zulu is actually grown a little bit. Probably could be held at parity. So, going to need some help.
Okay, Michael, you're reeling. Wolf in. The gap is now 5.6.
If I want to get anyone other than Wolf. If I can put up some consistent 26s, I'll be fairly happy, because it's, you know, it's still practice for race number 2, which is worth twice the points. Although, I should say that, given that I am probably not going to be in reverse grid here, if we're being honest. As I do 26.6, that's not bad. It's only 4/10 off what I did in qualifying. Fuel's good. Projecting me to have like 6 liters left. No, Zach, I wanted to race against you. Well, I have caught up to Scott Nick by about 2 seconds, so I don't know. Maybe him and Steve Davidson are in play. Michael Krall's fallen back. I'm catching up to Zulu, but Again,
Yellow flag in sector 3.
I don't think it's
That's
enough.
half distance. You're looking good.
Still
for
having
fuel.
some problems into turn
10 minutes
7.
remaining. 10 minutes. Green flag sector 3.
But the tires are doing fairly well, actually. That's the other thing to keep an eye on. That's the thing, though. You look at how worn up and chewed up that left front already is getting. You know, down to 79% already. And that's after a little over, like, 10 minutes. I'm not looking forward to what that's going to do in race 2. Makes me tempted to go hard tires, if we're being entirely honest.
Alright, Michael, keep it nice and smooth. Come on, let the race come to us. P20.
Especially if I'm going to be coming from the back. Might as well hope. But the thing is, I haven't done a lot of testing with the hards because, to be honest, the hards haven't really been a thing this series.
5.0 seconds.
No one's really made them go well, but you could definitely argue that, well, what does my race look like if I just do what everyone else does? And there's a legitimate question there. That in real life, somebody back in the pits would be scribbling up furious math calculations to figure out what's worth and what's not worth. But, unfortunately, I don't have a pit crew.
We think Wolf has gone off in madness. Green flag sector 2.
Which, just as a quick note here about realism, because everyone always goes realism. Why should I use crew chief? It's not realistic. Why should I use a HUD? It's not realistic. You know, it's not realistic. Racing a GT2 car at Mid-Ohio with no pit crew, and no team back in the pits doing some calculations for you.
12 seconds. Green flag sector 1.
So something I'm looking for is where the complete fall off of the pace comes in. Where is that on the tires? That might make up my mind. Because we're not there yet. We just did a 26.9, and it was a lap where I made a fairly decent mistake. So, to be only
Yellow flag in sector 2.
4/10 off of my best lap while
like Spriggs
making that mistake is
sector 2 is
a
clear.
good sign. John Spriggs is off at Madness. That means that's John I'm catching up to.
Spriggs.
Zach has tapped out. That's a shame. He was definitely struggling, but that is a shame. I say this to all the guys who are struggling, and if that's you, keep going. People are going to understand that, you know what, maybe you'll get in their way a little bit.
A bit of a wear on your left front.
This lap has been terrible, though. Making all kinds of mistakes, so feel the need, like with nothing else really happening on the screen, I feel the need to talk and to make this worth your time. 28.4. That's pretty terrible. There we go. I can see them up ahead, so
the gap to Spriggs.
6 minutes to go.
10 seconds.
That's not gonna be remotely enough time, though. Yeah, we're expected to make another 4 laps and change. So, I don't know. I have to make up something like 2 seconds a lap, and that's probably not happening. Unless maybe John Spriggs does me a favor on his way cutting through back through the field. Because Spriggs is quick. And if he's caught back here with me, maybe I can follow him through to the race 2. Keeping decent pace with Spriggs, but he is also directly behind Nick, and we don't know what that's affecting his pace like. once you're,
okay, Michael. 5 minutes
once you're
to
in
go.
close
5
proximity
minutes
to
left.
somebody, their pace affects your pace. What do we do there? 26.8? Okay, so we're still capable of doing 26s. Well, my knee is getting problematic, so forget 2 days in a row. Kind of wondering if we'll make it
You've
through
got 10
today
minutes of
without
fuel remaining.
a locked up knee. Someone asked what my medical problem is in this regard. Nothing extreme. I've just had some knee problems growing up playing hockey and football and combat sports, and just takes a physical toll on you. And as far as my back is concerned, because you'll hear me complain about that a lot, I just have 2 fused.
We're seeing minor wear on the fronts.
3 or 4 fused vertebra, depending on which doctor you ask. And that leads to some discomfort at times in chairs. I mean, at least if one could argue I've had a better race than John Spriggs. Slow lap, but not a super slow one. Doesn't feel like the tires have complete let go either, which is an argument to go softs in race 2. They don't feel bad, although the numbers say they kind of are. Going completely blind with that. By the way, the camber choice, I think, was, in the end, relatively correct. Probably not perfect or anything, but feels like it has given me a little bit more tire life without the car feeling upset or anything. Was the goal. Oh, that's wide. Thunder Valley, you win again. That is one of the more difficult. There's a number of difficult corners on this track. There's turn 7.
2 minutes to go. 2 minutes.
There's the opening chicane. There's, I mean, hell, the keyhole is a simplistic corner in theory, but tends to actually be fairly convoluted. And I was hoping I would at least catch Scott, but that is not going to happen without some intervention via a yellow flag. But it's all my fault. I sped in the pits. I started from the pit lane. I sped in the pits. What are you going to do? Starting in the pits could have actually paid off, but there wasn't that much carnage, and it incurred the drive-through penalty. That's why you always got to keep an eye on your speed, even when the pit limiter is on. Particularly in race room, the pit limiter just isn't very good.
P20.
We'll have 1 lap after this one, I think. Maybe 2. Depends. See, he's what, 30 seconds behind me? If he pulls a really strong lap, he might be able to get another lap in, which might be good. Hope for someone to make a fueling mistake. I think at this point we're at the race going longer cannot be anything but good for me. Oh, Pedro Magalash is up in second place. It's a good run for him. I think this is his first ESR race. Race finish is on. I think Scott had a problem. That gap closed very rapidly there. Maybe went off at Madness. Whatever. He's pointed the correct direction now. Can't help but think that with the difficulty to overtake here, though, that this was a huge missed opportunity. Could have had, I think it was a top 5-ish start for race 2, and that would have been a big help, but messed it up, and that's what we get. For race 2, I'll probably unmute the Discord. You guys can hear anything that's being said.
20th place.
As I come across a
we'll get him next time.
20th.
I'm done.
So you're
I
first?
was last.
Oh yeah, because you took a drive-through, huh?
Actually, well, Zach was last, but he DNF'd.
How'd you get the drive-through?
I didn't hit drive in time, so I started from the pit lane, and I sped. Apparently, I had the limiter on, but must have clicked up to 81 at some point.
That's what hit the guys last week. That's why Stoffel had like a drive-through and.
Oh yeah. It always does that. That's a race room quirk. You got to watch your speed. So, you know, known problem caught me.
Well, yeah, but if you have engine map 5, that's a new problem from the January update.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't even know about the maps. That's how little attention I've been paying to race room.
Yeah, you weren't there last race. Delgado got a few, and even Stoffmill got one.
Chazo, I think.
Echazo, yes.
Spanish guys.
That was intense from the first lap to last.
One apparently.
Ah, man.
Very intense.
Fucking
That was
fun.
heat. Better. Not perfect, but better.
Once you get behind people, I mean, I don't know, because the rough's a little different. I just can't.
This one's the only one that was the right side's a
slow
little
on
bit
the
off
street.
still, but
You can't pass on those turns.
we're there.
So.
So fuel. So 61 is the call.
I don't want to hear it.
It's too bad there isn't any other cars to drive.
We'll pump up the extra 2, so we'll go 63 to be safe.
That was almost a
And-
British level of sarcasm there, mate.
Well, I was gonna say I was debating heavy the hards, but we ain't starting from the pit lane again.
All right,
so
good
let's
luck,
do
guys.
this.
Have fun.
Be ready.
Last race of the season.
Green, green, green.
It's like it's like the guys ahead of me just did not get a start there. Jeez. All right. Well, hopefully we can mix it up with Scott and Steve and newcomer Michel Kral. Spriggs, I don't think we'll be mixing it up with. He's here right now, but he'll get away. I'm gonna break a little early here for this one because I think this chicane could be carnage here early in the race.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Yellow flag, stay sharp.
Well, we got it to the keyhole at least before
Green
somebody got spun, and it was Serge Hendricks.
Sector 1 is clear.
Now the rough is kind of gutless in a straight line. So maybe I can use that little straightaway to get past Scottnick.
Yellow
Some
flag,
point.
you're clear.
Another
Incident
yellow
clear.
flag. I didn't shift down to the second guy. It's slight mechanical mistake. Spriggs still
Did you
hasn't found
see
his
that,
way
Andrew?
through. Almost through though. Don't really know how to handle Crawl. He's a new face, and there's means I don't have a.
He's scaring me.
I don't have a book on him.
Yeah.
Left.
Something
B19.
going on around Martin Andrew at the front. Wonder if that's maybe Luciano Achazzo scaring them. Luciano has high ping.
Yellow flag, stay
and
sharp.
That means that
Green flag, you're clear.
on more than one occasion, his driving has become erratic because the reality he experiences is not necessarily the reality we experience on the racetrack. There are a bunch of yellow flags, but no one's actually falling back here, despite the relative closeness of the field, so must be relative. Oh!
Ah, damn!
Side, clear right.
Yellow flag, green flag, all clear.
That's what you get for trying to outbrake me.
Man, I thought I braked early. God.
Green flag, sector 2.
You brake comparatively late, actually.
No, not really.
Quiet, quiet.
The leader has
You
just done a
hush me, Sean, when you said
127.12.
things in races, but okay. Weird flex. Alright. Spriggs, 26.3.
P18.
I'm in
That
the
was at
29s.
129.32. Sector 2 is
Which-
1.6 seconds off the pace.
That's high.
Green flag, sector 1.
I mean, obviously we're heavier on fuel. Undoubtedly will be slower. That's the word I'm looking for. So the goal isn't like 26s, but still.
Yellow flag, sector 1. Sector 2 is yellow.
Mind you, the fastest lap
That's
apparently has
no
been
fair.
26. So
Just
Yellow
no
flag.
fucking fair.
I think that was lag, dude. He was going sideways.
I can't even pass him
Green flag,
because his
okay.
car is flicking all over the place.
sounds like somebody.
Sector 2 is clear.
Sounds like somebody's
Yellow
got
flag.
lag. It's always a bit weird with lag. Because do you let the
Incident
person
clear.
race
Green
with
flag.
you? Do you tell him he can't race with you? Always comes up with international communities. You know, we have a lot of South American drivers. And not trying to say anything about you guys, but that tends to be a high ping area.
Green flag, sector 2.
There we go,
15.
27.2. That's better.
I'm gonna pit Andrew.
Looks like Scott Nick's
Thanks,
having
Scott.
more problems. I really was awkward through there.
Missed the. I'm done.
Okay, Michael. Don't
Get
let
back
this guy
on the
distract
track.
you. They're faster
30
than us
plus
through
minutes to go still.
madness.
Right side. Hold your line. Still there.
And he left.
Clear right.
That's lame.
The guy in front is Davidson.
I'd use a break there, but I didn't really want to get side by side with Davidson when he was looking like that.
Left side. Clear left.
I think he's got dirty tires.
Brilliant.
Alright.
Nice one.
Well, that's 14th. Moving up in the world. Tyler Agelli at some point fell behind me. I didn't see him, but he must have gone off.
P14. That last lap was a 127.53.
He's putting up a fastest lap of the race, though, so... I guess no, he'd be further behind if he had pitted. I was about to say. There's the
The gap to Kral
There's a
ahead
chance
is
that
increasing.
he's,
It's now 1.7 seconds.
doing a pit stopper. But I don't think he'd be coming through this fast. So Kral's next. Then it's DeRoche, Spriggs. I mean, there's some guys towards the front I think I could still race with. But they had...
On your right. Clear right.
You know what? That's probably not
On
a
your
bad
right.
thing.
Clear right.
Hendricks and Igeli are both faster than
Come
I
on,
am.
Michael. Don't let him get away.
That gap was closing very
The
quickly.
gap to Jerome behind is now 1.1.
And if they could sick after crawl, that'd be nice. Like, I'm in a weird spot having, you know, started dead last. There's the legitimate question of who am I racing with versus who's around me. And right now, I think of the guys around me, it's really just crawl that I'm really fighting with. I think Igeli, Hendricks...
You're better than this. The car's better than this. Get it together,
at least
man.
on
V60.
this day, faster than me. Also, I have a little bit of a flat spot going on the left-hand front, which opens up the idea of, like, do you do a pit stop? It would require certain circumstances, obviously. Like right now, no, but we'll see. I think I flat spotted it going through turn 7 last time. That's when the vibration started. Or I'm not sure if it's a flat. Could be also graining. This game doesn't, at least with the wheel I have, doesn't feel particularly different graining versus a flat spot. There's a slight difference, but not really one I can necessarily tell apart. But I think it's a flat spot. Because for one, it's getting a little bit better now, which suggests the tire is kind of rounding itself back into a straight line. Or a proper circle.
0.90.
Straight line. Jesus. Doing decent lap times though. It's just a bad feeling. It's not slowing me.
Got some lag up here.
Looks like Sean Kenny is dealing with whomever it is the lagger. I believe... Let's see, my guesses are it's either Luciano Ichazo or Pedro Bagalesh. Those are my guesses.
Hold your nerve.
They're
Make them do the work.
Well, Mauricio Delgado is also Southern American, but he's... I don't know, the drivers complaining don't seem like the types to be racing with him. He's a little slower. And generally, Mauricio's not too bad on the ping. He's from Chile. Not that that explains ping, but he's usually, you know, he's raceable. I am worried about that left front.
You've just
Between
done
the vibration and the between the vibration and the heat diagram there, it might not make it the whole way. So what's the gap to crawl? 3.1. Delgado's back here now. Might be a guy I can compete with. Keeping up pretty well with Spriggs and Durocher as well, so pace is not bad. Despite losing 2 spots, and despite the fact that Josiah is all over my ass, I'm more or less just ignoring him. If he goes for a move, I'll probably let him through. Without any real hassle. Lost a little bit of ground this turn, though. Or this lap, I should say. Made a bit of a mistake early on. And a little mistake there as well.
Car right. Hold your line.
28.3. That's a bad.
Hold your line. Clear right.
Let's see if we can rebound here.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
They're up on crawl now. Yellow flag in sector 2. Don't know who that would be.
Yellow flag, stay sharp.
Oh, looks like it's James Butler. In his
You're clear. Incident clear.
P45
Okay,
fire
Michael,
cockpit.
the next car is Butler.
Can I get past him? He probably has dirty tires right now. Definitely has dirty tires. You can see the movement in the car. But it's a difficult track to overtake on. Is that one downside I have to Mid-Ohio, because I like it's a joy to race. Like or to drive. It's one of those tracks that you can definitely hot lap and hot lap and hot lap, because you'll be learning things, you'll be going faster.
128.17.
I need to get sub 28s going here. What time is it? Shouldn't have a tire issue. It's 72% still. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can maintain 26 still, but it should be in the 27s at least. Like a low to mid 27 would be good. Gap to crawl is
Sector
closing.
2 is clear.
So, probably due to the fact that he has Hendricks all over his tail and has let a Gelly through. He also had a fairly
Car right.
poor lap.
Hold your line. Clear right.
As,
On your right. Clear right.
poor braking there through
Right side.
turn 7.
Still there. Hold your line. Clear right.
Go ahead, Josiah. That's not my fight. My fight right now is with Butler. Probably longer term is with Crawl and maybe Delgado. Everyone else in here is kind of on recovery drives that are a little faster than me. And at this point in the race, if this were later in the race, sure. But right now, no.
17th place.
That's a poor lap. Bad second sector. Everything else was okay.
The gap to
Have
Jerome ahead is increasing.
Fairly
It's now
decent idea of
0.9.
what a good first, second, and third sector time, for me anyways, is. So I can tell. So behind me, we've got Andrew D. and Steve Davidson. Davidson I should be able to keep there. Similar pace to me. Not a non-threat, but at the same time. Not someone on a recovery drive.
We're seeing a bit of wear on your front tyres.
The type of the guys that are just... Oh, that's a flat. That's a flat spot. And Andrew D. coming through. My pseudo teammate, anyways. I respect Andrew D. as fighting, despite the fact that he's had some terrible, terrible luck here. In this series in general, so...
Magalhaes, 125.52.
Not interested in fighting with him. Magalhaes with the fastest lap. There's a joke in there somewhere about Vinny Magalhaes. Had a really good first sector there, but
that was
unfortunately
128.
a terrible
50.
second sector. Although one could argue that maybe some of that first sector success was the fact that I was very late on the
this guy
race
intimidate
into
you. Quicker than you entering turn 13.
turn 7. Keyhole. He's quicker than me everywhere, let's be real. Been the fastest Corvette all day. Andrew D. Well, I guess maybe Megalesh. I think D had him in qualifying, but Megalesh, I believe, got a podium in race 1, so. There we go. Let's keep this. That turn is the one that's the biggest worry to me. Just get it semi-right. And probably have won the battle. What's my gap to crawl? It's up to 5 seconds. It's grown about a second. Through my mistake. Don't want him to get too far away. Butler's still fairly close. About 3.5 seconds up the road. Delgado's about 7. See the heat on the left front signify.
That lap was a
there we go, 27.3. That's better. Like, I'll take that. I know the guys at the front are still doing something like, you know, like 25s and stuff, but that's not really in me. Five and a half to crawl. 4.1 to Butler. Might mean Butler's got a little too much speed for me. Despite a reasonably good lap on my part, he did eke out about a half second. That suggests he's doing 26s. Which is not impossible for me, but if he can do 26s while battling Josiah, it's going to be more than a little bit of a problem. Delgado's falling back here, so he might have gone off. Didn't hear a yellow flag, though. Gap to Davidson's closing a little bit. .27.1, not bad.
Left side.
But again, lost ground to Butler.
Still there. Still there. On your left. Clear left.
Ooh, I don't like that he didn't stay to the inside there.
Okay, stay with him.
Or to the outside, I should say, because that could have been really ugly if I wasn't basically ceding the position, which I think, which is something a lot of people don't do. So you should never assume somebody's giving it up.
Okay, Michael, halfway home. Fuel looks good. That's 20 minutes to go.
A terrible lap from that overtake. Josiah still stuck behind Butler and Delgado. Butler and Delgado are stout defenders. In both good ways and bad ways. Some of it comes from the fact that they don't feel the pressure, but some of it also, I think, comes from a not knowing where people are. If that makes any sense.
To D. Ahead is increasing.
Bad third sector.
1.1 seconds. P18. Your lap time was 128.05.
Second sector was fine. First and third were bad.
Yellow flag sector 3.
Nah, doesn't help me.
Sorry, man. You totally changed your line.
Green flag sector
My
3.
bad.
Sounds like Jonathan Kenny had an incident with somebody. It's a decent first and second sector. Keeping up with Andrew D. After he was really able to pull away from me last lap. There we go, 27 flat. I'll take that. Could have been a 26 actually fairly easily. That was not a good run through Carousel. So I think, honestly, coming into Carousel, I might have been in the 26s. You know, high 26s, you know, like a 26.9 or 8. How are we on fuel? Fuel's good. 6 liters to spare. Butler has slipped back, but Delgado still hasn't.
Okay, Michael, you've used half your fuel.
And pulling away from Davidson, so no real pressure from behind. Series has had a lot of nice highlights for me, to be if we're being honest, but there's also been some lowlights. Michelle Kral in the pits.
The gap to Davidson behind is now 6.4.
Depending on the reason, that could be very interesting, because if he's got himself some new tires, this would be the time to do it. Too much curb there. And drive-through penalty for Kral. That's the other thing about it, is that with there apparently
Kral
being
has
a
just retired.
oh,
The
we
gap to D
left.
ahead is now 2.4.
That's lame. I mean, granted, he's making his series debut on the last race, so he doesn't have any championship implications to really think about, but still would have been nice to see him finish. So he had a chance there. If he was doing a tire swap, he might have been able to run back through the field a little bit. Pull a miniature Mike Stockmill.
We're seeing a bit of wear all round. Alright, Michael, 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes. P17, you've just done a 127.69.
Not bad. But it doesn't feel like I'm making a lot of progress. I am. It's getting closer to Delgado. And via extension Butler. Mostly because I think Butler's being held up. But it's not fast. Which could also be... Oh, it's Delgado in front of me now. He is fighting with D. So we get a decent look at that. And there's somebody else in the mix there.
There's a bit of wear on your right side tyres. That left front will be past its best soon.
So it's Butler in there. Oh, the left front's already past its best. Crew chief? Kid me? It's at 44% though, with 10-ish, 10 and change to go. It's not too bad. It's gonna be down in the 20s though by the end of this race, I think. It's not really any point in doing a pit stop though. This is a race that I think, honestly, a pit stop strategy might actually not be terrible, depending on the scenario. Like, that's why I was kind of interested to see what Kral could do. It's just that there's just not really anything for me to play with. Like, I would fall behind Davidson, who's the only guy ahead of. which would mean, so what, you're in last place, but I don't think there's enough time and there's enough laps and pace to make it work, because I'm still doing like 27s, which, given that, okay, if I pit, I can do probably 26s, maybe low 26, so maybe, like, let's say 1.5 seconds faster on the high side, on like the optimistic side. Problem is,
You're reeling Delgado in. The gap is 2.4.
like, in 10 laps, that's only like going to be like 15 seconds, and a pit stop is going to be like 20. Now, if I was like, I don't know, if I was trying to think of what, if in the situation I'm in, if it would ever be a good idea, but I don't, you know, it probably isn't, regardless of who I am. But if I was able to go like 2 seconds faster than these guys, and I was like stuck in traffic very legitimately, it might be worth it. But I'm not really stuck in traffic, as you can see. Like, you know, I'm 3 seconds behind Delgado. He qualified very close to me. I don't think I have a particular pace advantage to speak of. I think I have a little bit, like a couple tenths maybe, but that's about it. We'll see. We started this lap something like 2.8 behind him, so we'll find out. If I'm down to like 2.5 or something at the end of this lap, then pace advantage. Anything more than that is more or less just standard quo. Feels like I'm getting closer to him, but the gap isn't saying that. Like, it feels like that car is closer to me now, but apparently it is still 3 seconds away. Or, well, anywhere from 2.8 to 3.1, depending on the part of the track. See, it looks like he was faster than me that lap.
P17. That lap time was 127.59. Okay, Michael, that's good consistency. Keep it up.
Who else is up there? Still Andrew D. That's not someone I can really catch. Not on pace anyways. Butler, maybe, but probably not. Jerome, no. Hendricks,
10 minutes
no.
to go. That's 10 minutes left. This
Spriggs,
is okay.
no. So,
Keep those exit speeds
really,
up.
probably the best case scenario is getting Delgado. My leg is also really starting to be a problem.
Sector 2 is yellow.
If anyone knows a good, like, remedy for knee pain, like, during activity, that would be good to know. I think someone suggested doing a brace, which
Sorry, Barker.
might be a good idea.
No problem, mate.
Alright, Delgado made a little mistake through there. Or,
Seeing line of wear on your rear tyres. There's somewhere
or
on
I
those
just
front
put
tyres,
up
mate.
a race best second sector. Really would not have thought that, but there we go.
Your lap time was at
27
127.00.
He's doing more or less the same laps, though. What do we got left? 7 laps? Yeah.
The gap to Delgado ahead is now 2.2 seconds.
Like, it might actually... I would have thought 6 with 8.5 minutes to go, but you guys have more time to do the math than I do right now. screwed up through madness there. Still getting closer, so maybe he's not able to handle the tire wear as well as I. That's a maybe. I do tend to be... I do tend to bring it at the end of these races a little bit. Don't know if that's the Corvette inherently having a little bit of a tire advantage or driver, some combination of driver and car.
That was 127.85.
Yeah. Made a mistake through madness. That was gonna be a lap. That was gonna be a bad lap. Still only 2.2 back though.
Steen is now leading.
See, like, supposedly we've seen 3-second gaps. Now we're seeing a 2-second gap, and it feels like the 3-second gap just was not larger than this. No worries behind me. Davidson's quite a ways back. No real... just me and Mauricio Delgado. Me and Delgado. The only 2 cars in the world. Apparently Brody Steen.
The gap to Delgado ahead is now
leader,
1.9 seconds.
Is, out front. I know he's been the fastest guy whenever Stockman's not been here, but I think he's had like a couple DNFs.
Yellow flag.
So it might be a little bit of a battle. Oh, yellow flag. Hopes and dreams. Somebody in the wall. It's Serge Hendricks.
Green flag, all clear.
The Dutchman with a... I don't think that's a Dutch name. Correct me in the comments if Hendricks is actually
Sector 2 is clear.
a
P16.
super Dutch name, and I'm just a uncultured fool. Which, now that I say that, I'm not sure that I know where Hendricks is from, because I think all the Hendrickses I know are Americans, and it's not a Native American name, so it's got to have some root somewhere else. Alright. 5 to go. Well, 4 to go. And change. Definitely going to get my chance at Delgado. But, as I said earlier, he is a stout defender. But he also has trains formed behind him, so I've always wondered if it's, I should look back through a log file at some point, if he loses pace while defending, or if he, or if it's just a case of, like, he
5 minutes left.
finds himself in front of some faster cars. A little bit of column A and column B.
Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace.
27.5 is not bad. Carried a little too much speed into turn 1.
Alright, Michael, 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Oh, Hendricks is coming back at me. But yeah, he's losing ground to me. I think he's damaged the car. I'm gonna brake early into turn 7 a fair bit. If I'm like a half second behind him coming into it, because I really want to see how he takes that turn. Didn't mean to brake there. I don't know why I did that. Just gut reaction, I suppose.
Car right. Clear right.
He is either got no tires or he is driving very much.
Sector 1 is clear.
In his rear view mirror right now. Which, I mean, I don't blame him.
Keep the pressure on. Don't give him any respite.
My statement of, like, we're the only 2 cars in the universe, it applies to him, too. We have no one else to fight. This is about 15th place and 16th place. We ain't going forward without a major incident. And hopefully we're not going backwards, although Hendricks did close the gap about a full second over the last little bit. Right, this time I'm not going to brake early, because I might be able to leverage superior straight line speed into a run here. If he goes wide, he just held that. I tip my hat. Listen, he's very good in defense and doesn't give in. Hopefully
just 2 minutes left.
Hopefully he doesn't defend too hard, because Hendricks is coming. I doubt he can catch us, but we are being slowed down by Delgado for sure.
You've just done a 128.41.
I'm going to say a second lap, but that's probably being over dramatic. And he may not care, of course. I don't think we're championship rivals. I think I'm a fair bit ahead of Mauricio, despite the fact that we normally actually inhabit a relatively similar spot. I think those aforementioned bright spots I've had have been enough.
Come on, wake up.
Come on. Come on, Mauricio. You gotta pick a line, bud. He did kind of come across me there. I know someone will say that he's just taking the line to madness, but given we were side by side at turn 7, you gotta know a little bit.
We're seeing minor wear on your rear tyres. Your right front's carrying some wear now. Your left front tyre looks knackered.
Especially the way racing game physics works, that usually goes really bad for the lead car. We are definitely entering the last lap, so checking on the Hendricks gap. It is closing, but it's still over 2 seconds. There's just not many places you can really make it work on this track. Turns. Problem is the inside. Getting down the inside of turn 7 seems like a really good overtaking opportunity, and one that's coming up. But the fact that it turns into the outside into madness, which is turn 8, is a little bit of a problem. Unless he goes deep.
Car left. Clear left.
And we get the job done.
Come on, Michael. Nicely done.
And somebody has, I think, officially won. Because 1, we're getting the countdown. But 2, I also assume that the person who's just, based on how far I think I'm behind the leader, is 1. Oh, we went off. See? He kind of fought me a little too hard there, I think.
P15, that's it.
Really asked too much of his tires. Oh, it's Luciano who got the win. Alright. Congratulations to him. Butler in the sand trap. Just waiting on Davidson, I think. I'll get the results here and then sign off. Had to get a little shovey there with Delgado. We'll see if he maybe has any thoughts on that.
Good championship, everyone.
So I'm gonna mute the Discord
Good
because
champs,
people are gonna
Brody.
talk.
You won the overall.
There we go. Chazo, Brody Steen, Backlash, Edmonds, Cabus, Kenny. So pretty good all around. Barker, Zulu, Jerome, Spriggs. So I don't know. Not good results for me, obviously. Had better pace, but also didn't cut through the field in race 2, so can't be that angry. Alright, signing off for this series. I hope you guys enjoyed.